Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 68 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Tyler, and I'm your host this week, and I'm joined as always by my awesome, fantastic, marvelous co-host, Keiran. I said, you see what I did there, video listeners, video watchers. You'll see I said marvelous because Keiran's wearing a Marvel shirt, so it just worked. It just made sense. How are you?
I'm doing good. Had a fairly busy week. I haven't had a whole lot of free time, but kind of a little bit of a chill day today. A little bit.
Chill as in relaxing, or chill as in cool? Those are, in these days and age, they mean very different things. That's why I ask.
Well, essentially, I've spent my week demolishing sheds, painting walls, laying tile, and today I just got to go and look around some kitchen showrooms. So it's been a little bit relaxing.
A little relaxing, okay. Not chill in terms of weather.
No, it's I mean, it's not terrible right now. It's I think it's maybe 16, 17. It's not awful, but Monday and Tuesday were 30. So no.
16, 17 Celsius comes out to what Fahrenheit?
Give me 2 seconds, I will tell you.
Okay, because I'm guessing, you said before, that 30 is 86 or so Fahrenheit. Yeah. So I'm guessing 15 has to be 70s, 60s, something like that.
Yep. 17 is 62 Fahrenheit.
Oh my God, that is perfect weather. I love that weather. That is amazing. I would have killed for that this week. It's been the low this week has been I don't think it's ever been any lower than 75. And the high was 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And the high has reached 97, 99. It's been in the 90s basically every single day. It's ridiculous.
No, thank you.
Waking up in the morning and it's 78 degrees at 6:30 a.m. It's already 90 degrees at 11 a.m. It's been brutal. Been absolutely brutal. Thankfully, my job is indoors. So I'm indoors basically all day long with air conditioning. But even still, the walk to and from the train in the morning and the afternoon, it's a bit brutal. That 10-minute walk gets me pretty sweaty and pretty hot. I feel absolutely for anyone who's out there. And then even at night when I'm in my room, my room, again, no AC in the house. My room is at the top floor. So it's already pretty hot from that. So whatever the temperature is outside, it feels even hotter in my room, or just similar to it in my room. So I'm basically under the fan the whole day. And then at night, it's just still hot because it's 80 something degrees at night all night long. It is not pleasant. Has not been pleasant this week. Part of why I haven't played too much this week.
Yeah, one of the benefits of having beautiful Scottish red hair is that I am as pale as Casper the Ghost, so I burn real easy.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You got to layer up with that sunscreen. Suntan lotion, cover yourself up, that way you don't get sunburned. And even though I am not pale, I am on the other end of the spectrum, not super far on the other end, but I'm closer to the other end of the spectrum. I still need to put sunscreen on as well. I kind of don't do it too much though. If I'm going to be out all day long and I know I'm going to be outside a lot, then I do it. If I'm only going to be outside for 5-10 minute intervals, I really don't. But even then, I should still do it. This is a fun podcast. Talking about the weather, sunscreen, all that type of stuff. Yeah. These are the things that we do here.
Yeah, let's just talk about this for an hour and a half instead of video games can wait.
Yeah, video games can wait, especially on a light week like this. But no, we're going to get into it because this is the Play to Win podcast. Sure, we break down the week's biggest gaming news through in-depth discussion. Remember, subscribe to us over on podcast services or on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you know as soon as the video goes live, and you can watch it immediately. You can be one of the first people to watch it. This week on the show, we had a couple different topics to talk about. Again, bit of a light week. There were a number of stories, but nothing big or earth-shattering, really. So we were talking about some Ubisoft delays and cancellations that got announced this week, a couple good and bad stances on NFTs, and we'll be playing a bit of a game, kind of doing a little fun thing near the end after we talk about all our news stories this week. Before we do any of that, though, we are going to be talking about games that are getting new shows and new movies. And I'm kind of interested I'm really interested in two of these, less so a bit of the first one here. That first one being, just got the news that the 2021 Mortal Kombat film is going to be getting a sequel. The director of the first one, he's going to be doing this one. Have you seen it yet, Keiran? I haven't.
I have not. No.
Okay. Yeah. I remember it getting like kind of mixed thoughts. Like some people were like, yeah, it's good. You know, it's a good movie. Other people were like, yeah, like it's kind of not that great. It seems like it's a whole lot of setup for, you know, for a sequel. It doesn't really get good until the end, and then like it's over. I forgot all about the movie, to be quite honest. I want to watch it though. So I'm hoping that the sequel is better, you know, or at least like based off what people said, I hope it's better than what the first one was, since it seems like whatever setup needed to be done is kind of done, and you can just go off to the races right off the bat with the second one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a film that like I know it exists, and like I keep meaning to watch it, but whenever I remember that it exists, I'm in a position where like I can't just go and look to see if it's on like Sky or Netflix or somewhere. So I always forget. But
You
like,
don't have HBO Max?
no, we don't get that in the UK.
Darn.
Yeah. I think it is on Sky though, so I'll watch it at some point and I'll have more of an opinion on it. But like, from what I heard, like or at least the things that I saw were mostly like positive, not super positive, you know, not like a 10 out of 10 kind of positive. But so I mean, I'd be interested in the second one, depending on my interest in the first.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how mixed the reception was, it was definitely better than the reception that a lot of the Resident Evil movies got, especially the newer Resident Evil movie and the most recent Resident Evil Netflix show, which has just been getting lambasted all over the internet. Just it's like some people are like, it's good in a bad way, but other people are like, it's just bad. Like it's not even worth your time. So I mean, can't go wrong there, I guess. The second show, though, that we have, well, the second new game going to getting game adaptation of some sort that we got news about this week is a grounded animated TV series that is in the works. And according to Deadline, that's where this news came from. The series is set in the same universe as the game. Keiran, a grounded TV show, an animated one at that. How does that tickle your fancy? Because are you like, how do you feel about Grounded first, like the game itself, and then it being adapted for a TV show? Like, does the show make you more interested in it? Like, are you be like, oh, you know, maybe I'll watch that?
I mean, I've never played Grounded, but like it mainly because like I don't really have anyone to play it with. But like it's a game that I've kept an eye on because it does interest me. So, an animated TV series, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. That's depending on like who's doing it, what the plot is, what the cast is like, how well it's animated. I could be interested in that, sure.
Yeah, same here. Like Grounded is a game where I'm not really into survival games like that, so I never would have played it anyway. But just the premise, the concept of basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, except now you're in your backyard going up against bugs and insects and stuff. It's cool. It's a fun, neat premise and idea and everything. So it perfectly suited for an animated TV series for sure. Would you want it to be 2D animation or CG?
I honestly don't know. I think probably CG, but I could go either way on it, really.
Are you up for seeing CG spiders?
Probably 2D animation.
Yeah, I can go either way on it as well. I feel like it'll probably be 2D just because that'll just age better and just look better.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I imagine it would look better than CG would. Also, budget wise, too, I think it would be better too. Looking at the Deadline article, though, got a few details here. So it's being adapted by Star Wars, the Clone Wars writer Brent Friedman. And the series, which exists in the same universe as the game, follows four friends who the summer before high school plan big things to elevate their social standing. But their plans are upended when they stumble upon shrinking technology that makes them 2 inches tall. Now the four shrunken friends must learn to survive in a towering backyard that's a jungle full of enormous predators and hiding a vast corporate conspiracy threatening their entire town. I don't know if that is the exact same premise behind as the game, like the exact same story, like plot scenario. But I mean, I'm with it. I'm with it. That's how you'll get me to do anything grounded related. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they're gonna handle the. Okay, I need to go and collect 500 wood.
What, is that something you have to do in grounded? Collecting wood?
I honestly don't know.
I imagine it's like collect dirt, collect rocks, collect
Yeah.
leaves, collect grass, collect
Harvest
ant legs.
harvest 5,000 blades of grass.
Oh my gosh. Make a grass shield. But no, yeah, it definitely seems fun. It seems like it'll be a nice family friendly type of show. Like it's the type of show that I could perfectly see being like a Saturday morning type of cartoon. Just like fun vibes. You sit down, you eat your bowl of cereal, you got your fruit next to you or whatnot. You know, it just gives Saturday morning cartoon vibes. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. No idea on when the show will be coming out though. It'll be some time, most likely for sure. But I'm into it. I'm into it. Now the next one here, this is the one I really want to get your opinion on. We are getting a Dungeons and Dragons movie. We got the trailer for it too.
Yeah.
It's called Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Keiran, did you see this trailer?
I did. I saw this pop up on YouTube, and like I'm fairly certain we've known about this movie for a while.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we did, but I completely forgot it existed.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So did I. So I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, like you've got my interest, but this doesn't seem like it's gonna be like great. Like again, I like I'm very easily pleased when it comes to movies. So like I'm not, like gonna be critiquing every single scene in it, but like I was watching it and I'm like, okay, but how is this a Dungeons and Dragons movie? And then it got to like 30 seconds later, I'm like, okay, but how is this a Dungeons and Dragons movie? Like to me, it just seems like a fantasy movie. It didn't really, from the trailer, I wasn't getting many like Dungeons and Dragons vibes.
What is it? What did it need to do to give you like Dungeons and Dragons vibes? What was missing from it that screamed Dungeons and Dragons to you?
So, like one of my favorite things about D&D is like a player will come up with this like super badass plan to go and like deal with something, and it will be intricate and thought out and everything, and then they'll roll a natural one and everything will go wrong. And I didn't really get any sense of that from like it seemed like they were rolling nat 20s for everything, which didn't happen. Like it doesn't seem to have much like of the D&D mechanics. Like it's set in I mean, not that it necessarily has to, right? Because it's not like a movie that as far as I understand it, it's not going to be cutting back and forth between like players at the table playing a game of D&D and then cutting to like the scenes that they are acting out. It's just going to be like
it's just people in a world. The world is Dungeons and Dragons. It's just people in this world and just what they're doing in this world. It's not, as far as I understand it, it's not like a Tiny Tina's type of thing where it's like you're getting the play. It's not better yet. No, let me not really do the Tiny Tina's comparison. It's not like the new Jumanji movies where it's like we got the players on the outside and now we're seeing what's happening on the inside of the game. Like, no, it's just like this is the world of Dungeons and Dragons. These are the characters in the world that we are working with and all. And this is just their journey in Dungeons and Dragons land.
Yeah. I forgot what the end of my point was going to be, but the owl bear looks awesome.
The what? The owl bear, you said?
Owl bear.
Oh, what the girl Sophia Lillis, was she kind of like transformed into and everything?
Yep, it's one of my favorite D&D creatures.
Yeah, the movie. So like me being someone who is not a D&D person, I've been interested in D&D, just never played it before and all like that. I've had chances in the past, but like those chances were like at just times where it was like I gotta do this other thing though. I can't come do it with you guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't have like 4 hours to spare. Sorry.
Right, like I got like one time. I remember I was at school and my friend's like, "Hey, we're gonna play some D&D tonight." I was just like, I got an assignment to do. I can't. I got an assignment. But so I'm not into it at all. I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons person. So me outside looking in, I thought the movie looked cool. I thought it looked fun. I thought it looked interesting and exciting. I did see some people online. They were like, "This is the most not realistic D&D party at all. Like the most boring D&D party at all. Like all humans, no other races at all." And I was just like,
Yep.
I was like, sure, that's a fair point. I guess you can make it all. But like, I still think it looks cool. Just gonna read a quick plot synopsis that we have on the YouTube trailer here. A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers undertake an epic heist to retrieve a lost relic, but things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves brings the rich world and playful spirit of the legendary role-playing game to the big screen and a hilarious and action-packed adventure. And it stars Chris Pine as the main character of sorts. You have Michelle Rodriguez in there. You have Sophia Lillis, like I mentioned before. Sophia Lillis, for those who may or may not remember off the top of your heads, she played Bethany, I believe is the character's name in It, the first It, when they were like the kids and everything. Michelle Rodriguez, we all know her from a bunch of crazy movies, notably Fast and Furious. Chris Pine, he was Kirk in the new Star Trek movies. We have Justice Smith here. He was the main character in Detective Pikachu. He was also in the most recent 2 Jurassic World movies. And then we have here, I'm blanking on the guy's name, but it's one of the actors from the first season of Bridgerton, who everyone across the world was losing their mind over because they're like, oh my gosh, he's so hot, attractive. He's in the movie as well. I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked fun.
Yeah. Like I agree with you. Like it looks like a cool movie. Like I'm definitely gonna go and see it because it looks like it's more like my kind of jam. But I don't know, just didn't really get a D&D vibe from it.
Yeah, I can understand how if you are a D&D fan and it doesn't like really check boxes for you, how it might just seem like a fantasy movie using the D&D name for like clout or whatever. But I think it has legs. I'm hoping it has legs. If anything, like I said, it just seems like it'll be a fun time. It seems like it'll be a fun time, a fun fantasy movie to watch. A good way to spend a few hours, like 2 hours or so. I'm looking forward to it. Well, Keiran, you know what else I'm looking forward to? Or maybe not looking forward to, depending on how you want to look at these things.
Yeah.
Some upcoming Ubisoft games that may or may not be coming out. Some are not, and some are, but just delayed a bit. Ubisoft, they had I believe it was a financial briefing or an investor call briefing earlier this week. And here's where they announced the cancellation of a couple games and the delaying of a couple games. The first couple games that they canceled 4. The first of which being Ghost Recon Frontline, second, Splinter Cell VR, and then 2 unannounced games, 2 games that we had never heard about before, but they canceled them. And according to Ubisoft's CFO, Frederick Duguet, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, he said that these cancellations are part of the company's wider strategy to put, quote, even more focus on our biggest development opportunities, end quote. And I pulled that from Rebecca Valentine's IGN article about these cancellations here. So, Keiran, they're part of their wider strategy to put more focus on their biggest development opportunities. What do you take of this? Do you understand what he's saying? Do you think that makes sense, or do you think he's just talking to talk and just trying to like be like, yeah, don't pay attention to all the games we're canceling, guys? What is your take on it? Because I think that canceling 2 unannounced games, that's not necessarily a surprise in the games industry. Like people cancel games that haven't been announced all the time. I think it's more so surprising that they're saying, yeah, we had 2 games in the works that we hadn't talked about, but we're canceling them. They're not happening anymore. The Splinter Cell one, kind of sort of surprising. Like, I don't think Splinter Cell fans are going to be up in arms about it because they're like, well, at least we're getting the remake of the original at some point in time. You know, this is just a VR thing. And with Ghost Recon Frontline, similar, like in the piece, Rebecca kind of said this, and I kind of share the same sentiment. That is a bit surprising because remember, this is the one where it was the battle royale. They were supposed to have the
Yeah.
beta, and then like the beta got delayed indefinitely because of all the backlash and stuff. And so the fact that they're outright canceling it, saying, you know what, we're not going to work on that. We're not going to make that game. We're going to focus on our other bigger development opportunities. It's surprising. It's surprising to
Yep.
me. But do you think it's surprising? Do you think it's good, bad? What do you think?
I mean, it kind of doesn't surprise me that they're canceling Ghost Recon Frontline, just because I mean, obviously it does surprise me they're canceling it, but when I saw it, I was like, you know, kind of makes sense. I don't think that they were going to get a huge return on that investment. It didn't look that great when they showed it off, and like they announced that they were going to do a beta, and then they were like, actually, scratch that. We'll do it at some point. And like I didn't see too many people like over the moon about this game, so it doesn't like super surprise me that it's canceled. But Splinter Cell VR I didn't even know was a thing. So
I may have known it was a thing and forgot. I'm not quite sure. If I did know, they might have announced it quite some time ago. It's
yeah,
one of those projects where it's like, oh yeah, I guess that was a thing that was happening, but
yeah,
now it's not, and no one really cares too much that it's not happening.
yeah. That's the thing is like again, it's kind of like a similar situation for Splinter Cell VR where like people would have played it, sure, like people would have played Ghost Recon Frontline. And people have loved it, but I don't, like you said, I don't think Splinter Cell fans are going to be up in arms about this cancellation.
Yeah.
Um, when he says to put even more focus on our biggest development opportunities, it, I read that kind of like one of two ways, I guess. Where like one way is kind of PR speak to be like, hey, I'm going to try and put a positive spin on us canceling 4 games.
Yeah.
But the other way is like I genuinely do think that they will use these cancellations to maybe shift around some staffing internally and be like, maybe we can finally get Beyond Good and Evil 2 out. Or, we can put more people on Frontiers of Pandora. Or, or any of the other games that they're working on. So, like, again, like canceled games is going to suck regardless because like people will have enjoyed these games, but
People might have enjoyed these games, but then there's also the factor of when games get canceled, you want to find a way, you want to find something for that staff to do. You don't want to have to lay them off because
yeah,
they're not working on anything. So the hope here is that they'll be just shifting them over to other projects and not laying off people to
yeah,
cut costs or what have you.
yeah. So yeah, those are the two kind of ways I read that statement. But Ubisoft isn't doing good.
Yeah. And I want to get back to just want to say one more thing about Frontline in that I I am a bit part of my surprise with Frontline's cancellation is the fact that it was a game where it seemed like Ubisoft wanted it to be a thing. Like they were gonna
Yeah,
go all in behind it. Like it's the Ghost Recon name on it. So and it was a battle royale. So it seemed like something where like they were gonna try and retool it some more, but try and make it work and still get it out there and stand behind it some. So the fact that they canceled it, that I think with that like that context as well, makes that cancellation more shocking. Like, yeah, sure, many people were saying, yeah, we don't want this game. Let's not do this at all, like cancel it, whatever. Um, Even still, I don't like I still would have thought that Ubisoft would have stuck behind it and tried to make it work so that they could try to be like, and we have this big Ghost Recon Battle Royale type
yeah,
game, with that name recognition and all like that. Like, you know, it's similar, like they stuck behind Roller Champions all this time. They stuck behind Skull and Bones all this time, although more so government obligation there.
yeah,
They've seemingly still stuck behind X Defiant. So I would have thought they would have stuck behind Ghost Recon. I mean, they still have Beyond Good and Evil 2 in development. I would have thought they would have. I mean, you see what I mean? Like all these other
yeah,
games that they
yeah. No, I'm
stick
with you.
behind for so long. Like I would have thought they would have stuck behind this, but they didn't. And I'm not saying that they needed to. No one necessarily wanted it. And it
No.
is a smart thing to shift your focus to other games or other dev opportunities that will provide bigger wins for you. That's definitely a smart call to make. I just thought they would have stuck behind Frontline.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I kind of think they should, well, not should have, but they would have stuck behind Frontline as well, because look at what happened with Hyperscape. Like, they wanted Hyperscape to be their like, you know, big ongoing live service money making game, and that came out and tanked. So this being the second battle royale that Ubisoft has tried to make and then cancelled, or like pulled from release and no longer make and no longer support. I'm wondering if they're having a little bit of trouble making a battle royale game.
Yeah, I think Hyperscape. I think what stuck with Hyperscape was the fact that from what people played, like it seemed like it was actually good and like it was fun.
I enjoyed it.
But it was a fact that the market is just really saturated with battle royale games, and it kind of came out. When did Hyperscape come out? Can you pull that up for me, please? Because I feel like it kind of came out at a point where like Fortnite was really starting to really hit its peak in terms of like, man, Fortnite's doing really crazy stuff. Apex was really hitting strong around the same time as well. Warzone might have been kicking off really like in the high gear around that time too. So you have these other three bigger battle royale games, and then you're trying to jump in on the market at the same time, and it's just not going to work out that well for you.
It came out 12th of July 2020.
Okay, so no. Well, Warzone actually, yeah. Warzone came out shortly before that, because Warzone was beginning of 2020 when that launched. I believe it was beginning of 2020 when Warzone first came
10th
out.
March.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Warzone came out just before that, so Warzone's already kicking off real strong and everything. There's also the fact that that's just after we hit the pandemic, so it's summertime of the pandemic. Everyone's trying to figure out work from home and all. Yeah, that was just a poor time to try and break into a really saturated market already as it is, and these other big games there, it just wasn't going to work out that well, which is honestly a shame. Now we're going to move from cancellations to delays we got over here from Ubisoft. Speaking of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, that game has been delayed out of 2022. It's just another game added to the list of mini games that have been delayed out of this year. It is now coming out in Ubisoft's 2023 to 2024 financial year, which means it will not release until April of 2023 at the earliest. You surprised by this? Because I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest, considering it was slated to release this year. We are almost at the end of July, so there are 5 months left of the year, and or a way to be, a way to be 5 months left of the year, and we have seen nothing from this game aside from the initial reveal trailer, which gives them, or if it would still release this year, it would have to be a December game, because they would want time for marketing and promotion and PR stuff beforehand. So this doesn't surprise me in the slightest that this game is delayed.
Yeah, like I was, all this year, was hoping it would. And then June came and we didn't see anything for it. And even when in June, I was like, if we see something, like, what are the chances it actually comes out this year? Like, what are the chances? And then we hit July and it's just like, it's not going to happen. No way. No way is it coming out this year. They'll announce the delay when they announce it. It'll be better for the game for sure. And I mean, they said that this delay was because of just, COVID. The pandemic just made things harder, which makes total sense. Makes
perfectly valid reason.
Yeah. When do you think we see this game again, though? Because I wouldn't be surprised if we see this in a Ubisoft Forward in September, because they're supposed to have one in September.
Yeah.
When they announced the Skull of Bones, when they said we're going to do something with Skull of Bones, and then I think they said September was the month, but later this
September
summer,
10th, if I recall.
That sounds about right. In September, we're going to have another Ubisoft Forward with, looks at other games that we have coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Do you think that we see it there?
I think there's a strong possibility we see it there. I think, like, if I had to guess, I would say like this game releases maybe summer next year, maybe autumn, like,
Okay.
or for fall, I think you would say. Like I don't think that it's going to be too far. I definitely don't think that it will have been delayed until, sometime in 2024. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I don't know how far it is in development because we haven't seen it. But excuse me. But I would suspect that this game releases maybe like summer, fall next year. So yeah, I think there's a strong possibility we see it in September.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. I think if we do see it, I think we'll, cinematic trailer of sorts, but I
Yeah,
think it would be best if we saw some gameplay too.
yeah,
And
I
I
agree.
think if they're gonna put any type of like release window of sorts on this, they will simply put a year. And I think
Yeah,
that they would put 2023 to give them like a nice broad baseline. Like at some point in 2023, between April and December, it'll be out.
yeah, and
Which I think is a smart move.
and hopefully this doesn't turn into a skull and bone situation where it's like 2023, 2024, 2025.
Yeah, no. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
Especially because that team is massive. They're also making a Star Wars game too, so they can't be on this forever. Like it's got to come out at some point in
yeah.
time.
Also,
So
like little sad for Ubisoft and James Cameron that it's not going to release the same time as, well, running about the same time as the movie.
yeah, not the biggest loss. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I mean, James Cameron might have cared. I think Ubisoft would care more than James Cameron
Oh
does.
yeah, like
James
a hundred
Cameron,
percent.
James Cameron, he's more so worried about making his movies and like exploring the depths of the ocean. He could
Yeah,
care less about whether or not this game comes out at the same time as this movie or in the
yeah.
same time frame. I'm sure he's not going to care one lick about that. Um, Next thing we got to talk about with Ubisoft, though, one more delay. That being the codename Assassin's Creed Rift. Okay, this was part of their delayed talk here when they announced this in their briefing and everything. They didn't say it was Assassin's Creed game, but they said we had an unannounced game set for 2022-23 release window, but it's being delayed to the 2023-2024 financial year. Day or two later, Jason Schreier with them scoops came out. He said, yeah, that game, it's the game that I mentioned before earlier this year, that Assassin's Creed one that was an expansion before to Valhalla, but got shifted to a smaller standalone game to fill out Ubisoft's game lineup. That's what this is. It is codenamed Rift. He gave just like a little tiny extra detail that it is set in the Middle East, apparently, which is, I'm interested in that. I like
Yeah.
that. But apparently it's being delayed due to it being behind schedule right now. And according to Jason Schreier, it's expected to release sometime between May and June of 2023.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not terribly disappointed by this. Like we didn't know, well, like we didn't officially know this game existed
Right.
outside of. But have they said they were working on a game that used to be a Valhalla DLC, or has that all been like reports so far?
I don't remember if they said it officially themselves. I think the only thing they officially said themselves was Infinity. But
Yeah,
they might have mentioned this at the same time they talked about Infinity. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read that
yeah,
announcement.
yeah. Well, regardless of that, like we didn't really know this game was coming this year, so this doesn't really affect anything. I don't think, other than we have to wait a little bit longer. Like
Yeah.
it's not like they announced a date and then they're like, oh, by the way, actually we're delaying it. Like it's just things happen in development.
One thing I will say though, this will be, as far as I can recall, the longest time between Assassin's Creed releases. Because Valhalla was 2020.
Yeah,
And if this doesn't come out this year, well, it's not. 2022 is going to be 3 years. So it'll be the longest we've ever had between Assassin's Creed releases.
good.
And I
Take
mean,
your
if
time.
this is, I was about to say, if this is one, if this is behind schedule, take your time. But two, we're also not like dying for new Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
releases. Like you can take your time making a new one. We will happily wait, especially me. I have yet to start Valhalla. I dread starting Valhalla. I'm worried I'm not gonna like it. I know the game is dense and all. So
Yeah.
the longer it takes for you, the more time I'll have between when I play Valhalla, and whatever burnout I feel in the lead up to Rift, whenever that comes out.
Mhm.
So take your time. Happily take your time.
One thing I will like very quickly say is that I'm happy this is a smaller game. I'm happy they're not like, the next
Yes.
installment isn't going to be, 120 hours of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I mean, like based off what the initial report said from Jason Schreier, like it's a smaller game, more focused on stealth.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. Like it sounds like a return to Assassin's Creed of old, pre-Origins.
Yeah.
Maybe not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of scope, which I've been wanting for such a long time. Like Origins was
Mhm.
fine, but Odyssey was far too big for its own good. Like that, it got in that game's way.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Rift is more of a return to pre-Origins, pre-Odyssey type of scope. And I'm hoping that I'm just hoping it's a good game. Nowhere near as long, nowhere near as dense. That is my hope for whatever this new Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
game is that they're coming out with. So with all those delays and cancellations in mind now, this brings us back to something we talked about earlier in the year. I forgot when exactly it was we talked about this. Also, apologies for the siren that is driving by my block right about now. It's oh, is it? It didn't go down my block and went the other way. Yes, yes. I heard it. I thought it was about to come down my block. So we kind of talked about a point that we're about to make right now earlier in the year. That being that Ubisoft's upcoming lineup is kind of dire. Like
Yeah.
at the time, we were like, all right, we only know of release dates for like one or two games. Everything else has like maybe a window or is in some state of development hell. Now at this point, Roller Champions, I believe, has come out.
Yep.
Mario and Rabbids is set for this October. Skull and Bones is set for November. But those are the only two games that they have coming out this fall. And I think coming out in like for the rest of their financial year, I think.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia delayed. Beyond Good and Evil, who knows what. Assassin's Creed Rift delayed. Avatar delayed. Splinter Cell super far out. What is going on?
Yeah. So I'll start off by saying that like it's bad for Ubisoft because like they're releasing 3 games, including Roller Champions.
Those 3. I also don't remember if there's anything else that they put out this year. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but those 3, yes.
Yeah, so say that plus like maybe one more that neither of us can recall it. Right? So like it's not been the best year so far for Ubisoft, not looking too great for the rest of the financial year. But as somebody who already is going to have no time with the amount of games that are coming out within the next 12 months,
yep,
this doesn't necessarily worry me because I'm still going to have stuff to play. It makes me a little worried for Ubisoft because, again, like I've said this a bunch of times on the podcast before, it's like I remember Ubisoft was like one of the giants in the video game industry. And now it seems like they're kind of on the back foot and kind of falling down further and further in the pack. So I'm hoping they can pull it back, but not in this financial year, apparently.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the dire, I don't want to say dire, but like kind of like the period that EA went through in terms of like, not in terms of like releases being delayed or whatnot, but just like kind of putting out subpar kind of games where like Dead Space 3 kind of got mediocre reception, and Mass Effect Andromeda didn't get the best reception. Anthem got a bad reception. The sports games, just putting out the sports games and the microtransactions, Battlefront 2 and that controversy and stuff. Kind of, then there's like some people might even draw comparisons to Capcom, because some people will say that Capcom had like a kind of a downward spiral, not downward spiral, but a downward state for a period of time. And now like they're back on the up and up. I feel like ever since Monster Hunter World and Resident Evil 7, they've been on the upswing for quite some time. It seemed to be going on that for a while. Now it seems like it's Ubisoft's turn to just be on that downward trend. And like they're gonna have to make changes to really get themselves back up into that state where people like hold them up in high regard, like putting out good games, quality games. And having smooth developments, good developments with their products and all like that. And I also just made me think, I remember I saw on the internet the other day on Twitter, a quote unquote leaked piece of key art or concept art for an Immortals Phoenix Rising either sequel or spinoff, set in the Polynesian Islands. For
Interesting.
those who may or may not know, that's kind of where Moana is set. And like you see a character, like standing facing the camera, not the camera, but like facing you in the art and everything.
Yeah.
Who looking, I don't want to say looking like they are Maui, but like, they had like a type of like a weapon of some sort, like a metal, not a metal, a wooden type of weapon of some sort. It just gave me strong Maui vibes, if you remember Moana and all. So I'm like, ooh, that seems cool. I like that.
Yeah.
What makes me think it's real is that Jeff Grubb retweeted it.
Ah.
So I wonder if they announced that at this Ubisoft Forward, depending on the scope of it, could that come out this fall? Could that come out the beginning of next year? Or is it going to be like is it actually a full-on sequel? Is it coming out next year type of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, Phoenix Rising came out in October 2020. So if it's the same developer, I don't know if they would have had enough time to make a full-on sequel, but I could see them doing like a smaller game kind of in that universe.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly,
Like
Phoenix
different
Rising,
mythology and everything.
Yeah. Phoenix Rising like did pretty well in like review scores and like sold pretty well as well. So I could see them doing a follow-up kind of thing to that. And if so, I would play it.
Yeah, I never played the first one. But from what I remember hearing about the first one, people were like pleasantly surprised by like it's not just a Breath of the Wild clone. It actually it's actually a bit unique in its own way, with the charm and the humor and everything. Like it's actually it's a cool little thing on its own as well. So I'd be down for a sequel. Maybe I would play the original and then play the sequel too. Who knows? But yeah, Ubisoft, they not looking like great times over there. It's going to be a bit of a quiet, rough coming financial year for them. Like the rest of this financial year, it's not going to be all that great. Mario and Rabbids will most likely sell well. It looks like it's going to be a really great game. Skull and Bones, who knows? We don't know if they have anything else set for the rest of 2022 and the beginning of 2023 leading into April. But hopefully they can, stay afloat and keep things going. I like Ubisoft, and I want them to do well and get their act together and stuff, not just in terms of game dev, but also just the workplace
as a company
they have and stuff. Yes, as a company, just the culture they have over there. I want them to fix things up, get things back in order the way they should be, so that they can thrive, their games can thrive, the developers can thrive, and we can all, we all win.
Yeah.
So speaking of winning, okay, Square Enix is not winning right now.
Nope.
You want to know why they're not winning right now?
Tell me.
So they're winning in terms of, reception to their games and stuff. They're all winning in that regard. People are loving Live Alive. People are, enjoying Final Fantasy 14. They're loving Final Fantasy 7. They're not loving Square Enix and their position on NFTs though. We've never liked it. Square Enix is making the full push now. They are attaching NFTs to physical products.
Yeah.
And this is the most bizarre thing I could possibly imagine.
Yep.
So, Keiran, have you heard about this before now?
I saw, like, I haven't looked into this because honestly I don't really care, but I've seen like headlines of this throughout the week.
Yeah, I saw some people briefly talk about it, and I was just like, I'll look into it a bit later. And then when I looked into it, I was just like, this makes no sense. This is so dumb. So dumb. So Square Enix, like I said, they're attaching NFTs to physical products. One of which, I'll talk about the lesser one first of these. One of which, that is the Final Fantasy trading cards that they have. They're going to be adding NFTs to these trading cards by offering digital versions of the cards that come in the trading card packs. Okay.
Sure.
Don't do this, but okay. But still don't do this. But here's the other one. And neither the cards or the second one make any sense to me. So they're going to be adding NFTs to a new action figure of Cloud, right? There's two versions of this Cloud figure. One of which it's just the physical Cloud figure, right? That's it. The other version, the digital plus version, comes with a digital certificate of authenticity and a digital version of the figure, both through blockchain and NFTs. I'm going to read directly from their product page. This says here, the Digital Plus edition is a set product of physical action figure with one each of exchange tickets to redeem digital certificate of authenticity and digital version of the figure. Both digital certificate of authenticity and digital version of the figure are managed by the blockchain technology known as NFTs. Digital certificate of authenticity provides proof of authenticity for your original purchase of the figure. Digital version of the figure can be enjoyed on your smartphone or your PC through dedicated website. Keiran, correct me if I'm wrong. Wouldn't a digital certificate of authenticity that provides proof of authenticity of your original purchase, wouldn't that be something called a receipt?
It sure sounds like it would.
Wouldn't that just be a receipt?
Well, what an ingenious idea, Square Enix, giving people a receipt for a purchase.
Wouldn't the email confirmation of my purchase of your product serve as proof of authenticity of my original purchase of your product?
Yeah.
Why do I need an NFT to serve as proof that I bought your product from your store?
I have an answer for you for that question.
What is your answer? Please make it make sense to me.
Because why not?
Exactly. Why not?
that seems like the entire strategy behind this release is just, sure, we can do that.
But why are we gonna do this, sir? Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we?
Nobody's telling us we can't do it.
So let's do it anyway. And we'll do it with Final Fantasy VII, our most profitable brand.
Yeah.
And then they have the digital version of the figure that can be enjoyed on your smartphone or your PC, right? Through a dedicated website. Does it specify if it's just like a picture of the figure or if it's like a 3D model of the figure? We don't know what this digital version of the figure entails.
But
why would I want a digital version when I have the physical version?
I would love it if you go onto the website and it's just a singular image of the front of the figure.
If that's all it is, I can look it up online. I can take pictures of it myself.
Yeah, I was
to have my own picture.
I can take a picture with my camera.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Keiran, why?
Because Square Enix know that people want NFTs. They know that they can jump on this bandwagon of blockchain and NFTs and digital stuff that everyone wants.
But Keiran, Final Fantasy VII, their most popular Final Fantasy game, arguably their most popular game, period. The game that they are making this NFT for has a whole subplot and characters that are all against destroying the planet, which NFTs play a part in. Isn't that kind of ironic and silly of Square Enix to make an NFT for a figure from their game that has this as a plot point?
But why wouldn't they?
Because we can. We can do it just because we can. We have the power.
Yep.
They are literally Shinra. We can do it because why not?
Yeah, because we own it. Why wouldn't we?
I wasn't at first. I wasn't gonna have this be a main story, but then I was like, this needs to be because this is just so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
I'm gonna make a prediction right now.
What's your prediction?
I think hang on, so there's a digital plus edition and just a regular edition.
And the regular edition literally just is just a figure. Doesn't come with the NFT. And I should also add on to this: the digital plus is like $160. The one that doesn't have the NFT, I think it's like $140 or something like that. It's a bit cheaper. I don't remember the exact prices.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the digital plus edition, probably not gonna sell that well in comparison to the regular one, except for, I think, like, for lack of a better term, like your Final Fantasy fanboys, like you're like the people who are like obsessed with Final Fantasy. They're gonna be like, oh, I need a digital receipt or proof of authenticity if you're Square Enix, and I need to be able to look at this figure whenever I want on my phone.
Here's the thing: I feel like the only people who do the NFT one are the NFT bros, not the actual Final Fantasy fans, because the actual Final Fantasy fans don't want this. They don't care.
No,
they don't like it.
No, nobody wants this. Nobody wants this except Square Enix, which is why they're doing it.
I'm just appalled. Not appalled. I wish I could be surprised, but I'm not. And I guess I'm more so just like stunned at just like the proof of authenticity of your original purchase, as if the email confirmation receipt is not proof of my purchase.
Yeah.
It boggles the mind. It absolutely boggles the mind. Even more so because I already don't understand NFTs all that well. So you do this, and I'm just like, this is just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. We shouldn't be doing this. But you know who agrees with me about, hey, we shouldn't be doing NFTs?
Is it? Mojang.
It is Mojang indeed. Yes. I always say Mojang, but I forgot it's actually pronounced Mojang, right?
Yep.
Yeah, forgot about that. Mojang, they agree with me, and so many others, because they have explicitly stated in a nice, fairly lengthy blog post on the Minecraft site, they explicitly stated that NFTs are not allowed to be in Minecraft or made in association with Minecraft. I'm going to read this real quick, this quote right from their blog. They said here, quote, "To ensure that Minecraft players have a safe and inclusive experience, blockchain technologies are not permitted to be integrated inside our client and server applications, nor may nor may Minecraft in-game content such as worlds, skins, persona items, and other mods be utilized by blockchain technology to create a scarce digital asset." Yes. Clap louder. Clap for the people. Clap for the people.
No, I'm giving them a golf clap.
Just a golf clap? That deserves a nice round of applause, not just a golf clap.
I mean, a golf clap is still a round of applause.
I'll do it. I'll do it myself. This is great. I'm so happy to hear this.
Yeah, I love it how like you have two entirely opposite ends of the spectrum.
In the same week.
Exactly. Like there is no crossover here whatsoever. Square Enix are like NFTs and Mojang are like, no
NFTs, not at all. And you want to know why? We'll tell you. They gave a couple reasons for it. One being that NFTs, I paraphrase what they wrote in their blog post. They said NFTs are based around scarcity and exclusion and create a situation of haves and have-nots, which goes against Minecraft's values of creative inclusion and playing together. Also, they feel that NFTs shift the focus from playing and enjoying the game to, try to profit from NFTs.
Yeah.
And there's also the fact that third-party NFTs they're kind of known to not be reliable and are subject to suspicious and fraudulent activity that Mojang doesn't want Minecraft players to fall victim to. So for those very smart and valid reasons, they don't have any plans for NFTs in Minecraft right now. They have said, though, that their thoughts on NFTs could change as the team monitors blockchain and NFTs to see how they change over time, if they do eventually offer safe and practical ways to be implemented in Minecraft, while staying true to the company's values. So like that's something that I've seen other people in the games industry say, that like blockchain does have potential, but as it is right now, it's too suspicious. It's too not moderated, not regulated. It's a bit too wild west with blockchain and NFTs to even like think about implementing it into games and all. Like it needs to grow and evolve and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like I feel like that's kind of the thing when like any kind of like new technology launches that people like haven't like explored before or haven't or don't know like a lot about is, like there's going to be some skepticism at the start, but there'll be people who keep their eye on it over time. Like there was a product in my head that was a really good example of this. It's just entirely gone out of my head and I'm real mad about it.
Wish I could help.
Yeah, monitor over time, see how it goes. Maybe eventually everyone might be in favor of NFTs. They might, get better. So who knows what the future holds? We'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see. But Mojang does not have to wait and see my approval on their stance. This is a great stance. Very smart stance agree. And everything. Especially given that Minecraft, it's such a platform. It's a beloved platform that so many people use, young, old, kids, adults. And if you start infusing NFTs in it, then you start exposing your youngest base to it. Yeah. And they are like the most vulnerable. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all. Yeah, you want to keep it so that, as they said, Minecraft is all about creative inclusion, playing together. You want to keep that at the core of the game. You keep NFTs out of it. You don't even involve them in it at all. You say you tell people you cannot do them in Minecraft. You cannot make any associated with our game at all. Period. You just can't. Keep it nice and clean.
Yep.
I'm with it. We're gonna do something fun now. Something that I don't think we've done something like this on the show before. We're gonna play a bit of a game. I say a bit because technically I don't know if you would call it a game, but I'm going to say it's kind of a game here. All right.
Sure.
We're going to do one of those things where you see, I'm sure people have seen it on social media, where it's like, hey, pick your lineup. You only have this much money. And there's like a couple different rows. And each row has like a different price tier with a couple different games in each row and all. We're going to do that. We are going to do that. Keiran will have the picture up on the side while we do this. That way everyone can look along and kind of pick their own list as well. Pick your best lineup with $15. Keiran, do you think you can do that with the games we have here? Do you think you can?
Yeah, I think I've got a pretty good idea which ones I pick.
All right, we're going to start at the bottom. I'm going to just list off the games from in each row. We have 5 rows, $5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. In the $1 row, we have Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the Switch version. Katana Zero. Fall Guys, Untitled Goose Game, Road 96. All in the $1 tier. Moving up to the $2 tier, we have Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Death's Door, Celeste, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That's what that one is, right? Cool. In the $3 tier, we have Hades, Halo Infinite, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Psychonauts 2. In the $4 tier, we have Horizon Forbidden West, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Forza Horizon 5, God of War 2018, and Cuphead. And then in the $5 tier, we have Elden Ring, It Takes Two, The Last of Us Part 2, Resident Evil 2, and Red Dead Redemption 2. And I should also add that I am getting this tier, this picture here from Gamers Watch Crew, at Gamers Watch Crew, from the Gamers Watch podcast over on Twitter. That's where I'm getting this from. Did not make this up myself. This is a bit of a tough one for me. I'm not sure what I want to do. What are you thinking?
I'm actually fairly set in all of these.
Really?
Yeah.
You only have $15 here.
I know. I can pick one from each tier.
5, 9, 12. You could. You don't have to, but you can. So what are you going to pick? What are you going to pick then?
Okay, you want me to start from the bottom or the top?
Sure, bottom. Work your way up.
Well, okay, actually, this is the row that I'm unsure of because there's not really like a whole lot of games in here I've played or enjoyed. Um, I'll go with Zelda just because it's the only game in this row that I've finished. It's the only game
Okay.
in this row that like I've really enjoyed playing. I've played Untitled Goose Game a bit. Not the whole game, definitely not enough
What
to.
about Fall Guys?
I've never played Fall Guys.
What? Oh, if you played Fall
I
Guys, that would be your answer. I know it would.
I have had Fall Guys installed since I built my new PC, but like three weeks ago, I think. I have not gotten around to playing it yet. So
I'm probably surprised you like never got it on. Well, no, you didn't have a PS4 when it was on PlayStation when it first came
nope.
there from right, and it just came to Xbox. So yeah, what when it came to Xbox? Well, no, it just went free to play a month ago. Okay, even still, I'm just still surprised you didn't play it. That would definitely be
Yeah,
your $1 game. I'm so sure if you had
probably
actually
yeah.
played it before.
Yeah. So once I play Fall Guys, that might change. But for now, like I really enjoy Link's Awakening. I pick that up.
Okay, okay, that's your $1 right there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do next?
I'm gonna go up to $2, and I'm gonna. Can you guess which game I'm gonna pick off this list?
I knew one way or another you were gonna get Ori in there.
Oh yeah, like 100. Like this game has to be in there. Like it's one of my favorite games of all time. Of course, I'm gonna
I
pick Ori.
I knew that for a fact.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So that's my $2. My $3 actually might surprise you.
It is going to be. I'm going to guess that it is Ratchet.
Nope, my $3 Hades.
Okay, I was initially thinking it was gonna be Hades, but then you said it might surprise you. I'm like, okay, so it's not Hades
I
because I
thought
knew it wasn't gonna be Halo. Like I
no.
know you like Halo. I knew it wasn't gonna be Halo, which is why I was
Yeah,
like, all right, if it's not Hades, it's gonna be Ratchet then.
yeah. I thought you would have thought that I would have picked Ratchet.
No, I
Yeah.
would have figured Hades. I knew you love that game.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I have several hundred hours sunk into Hades. What again? One of my favorite games ever.
Yeah,
Absolutely my $3.
totally get it. All right,
My
that's just
my
so. Just to recap real quick, Keiran has
Yep.
chosen Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. He has chosen Ori and the Will of the Wisps for a total of $3 so far, and then he picked up Hades using $6. He
Yep.
now has $9 left to pick two more games if he so chooses, or he could pick more if he just decides to stick around the bottom section. Who knows what he's going to do?
Well, I'm going to go up to $4, and I'm
Okay.
going to go God of War 2018.
All
Like
right.
obvious choice again. Like I'm going to say this for a few games on this list, but one of my favorite games I've ever played. Like this one isn't in my top three, so well, so is Ori really. But yeah, $4 well spent in my opinion.
So he's at $10 now. $10 used with his latest pickup. Are you going to do one more game or are you picking up a few others? How are you buying out here? How you spending
Okay,
your money?
so I have $5 left, right?
You have
Yeah.
$5 left, which means you could either get one game from the $5 tier or mix and match with the 4 and below.
Well, this is where I started to get a little stuck because like I could just pick a $5, and I probably will, because there isn't really like a combination of other games I could pick to round up to 15 that like
Really?
that I would pick because like okay,
You
well,
want to pick Forza?
I could pick Forza, but then I don't have another $1 game. Like
True.
because
You could.
I haven't played any of the others except Untitled Goose Game, and I haven't played that game enough.
Right. I mean, I promise you, Fall Guys would be your other number one. Your other number $1. I mean, if you did.
Sure. Like I could also go. I could pick Halo, and I could pick Death's Door, or Animal
or Ratchet
Crossing,
and Death's Door,
or Ratchet and Death's Door.
or Ratchet and Animal Crossing, like you said.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't pick Animal Crossing. Like I like Animal Crossing. Don't get me
I know.
wrong.
I know.
But
No harm, no foul.
just not my one of my favorite games. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna be a little bit boring, and I'm gonna spend $5 on Elden Ring.
$5 on Elden Ring. All right.
Yeah.
So your lineup. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say it's a fun game. I'd spend $5 on that. It's the only one in this top row that maybe Red Dead 2. Well, actually, Resident Evil 2 as well. No, I'm sticking
See
with
now,
Elden Ring.
when I saw this and I thought we should do this, I was like, he's gonna pick either Elden Ring or Resident Evil 2. He might be a bit torn with Red Dead because I don't remember how much you played of it, but it's not gonna be It Takes Two or The Last of Us Part 2. So I'm not
No.
sure. And I was thinking if he picks Resident Evil 2, it'll be because he actually finished that game. So he has a better perspective on it.
Well, actually,
But Elden Ring is also like what you played of Elden Ring could have been so much better than the however much time you spent with Resident Evil.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't even tell you how long it took me to beat Resident Evil 2. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Elden Ring. It's fun. It's difficult, sure. But I'm,
Yes.
I actually think out of all the games at the top, I'm enjoying this one the most. Out of, well, Resident Evil 2 though.
Hey, tough one here.
Nope. I am gonna spend $5 on Resident Evil 2.
Okay, with the from the last minute
Yep.
behind the back. Whoa, what's up with the sudden change?
Like thinking about it, I enjoyed my time with the Resident Evil 2 more than I have enjoyed my time with Elden Ring. Not to say I haven't enjoyed my time with Elden Ring, but like you said, it's the only game on this row that I've finished, and it's probably the game I enjoyed the most on this top list.
Okay, so are you locking it in? You're closing your wallet. You're making the exchange, the cash exchange at the counter, or the card swipe or insert, whatever it is. You're getting your receipt. What does your receipt say?
So my receipt says that I bought The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Hades, God of War, and Resident Evil 2 Remake.
And you are walking out quite the happy camper, I think.
Yeah. I picture the guy behind the counter like Marcus from Borderlands 1. It's like, no refunds. No, Borderlands 2, sorry.
Who said that?
Marcus.
Gotcha. Yeah. You said Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Yep. No refunds. You're like, I'm not refunding any of them.
I am happy with choices.
Especially at just $15. What?
Yeah.
5 at 15? That's amazing. That is a steal right there. All right, you see, mine is a bit tougher because there are two trains of thought with this. The trains of thought are, do I go with what I think are the best games here? Do I go with trying to have a nice variety? If I'm trying to go with a nice variety, then I'm actually, dipping my toes around a bit more. But if I'm just trying to go with the best, then it's really tough. So I'm going to say my variety first, okay? My variety picks.
Sure.
Variety picks will be, I will go for, all right, so for variety picks, it'll be, I'm going to do $5 less, actually. I was going to do $5 first, but I'm actually a bit torn there. Number 4, I'll pick God of War, definitely.
Yeah.
That'll be a $4 pickup right there. A $3 pickup, I will grab. I'll grab a Halo, and I'll grab Ratchet.
10. Okay.
So that's $10 right there. Now I have to decide: do I want to get anything from the $2 row? I don't think I will. I loved Animal Crossing. I loved it so much, and I really enjoyed Celeste. Death's Door is a great game too. I think I'm good on those, though.
Fair.
So I think God of War, Halo, and Ratchet, that puts me at $10. Now I have to decide, do I buy Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us Part 2, or do I go with Horizon?
Entire bottom row.
Do I go with Horizon Forbidden West, Forza Horizon 5, or Fall Guys? It's tough. I don't know.
I feel like I need I should put in like the tense music they will play on game shows when contestants have to make decisions.
Yeah, when it's like we're doing like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's the $1 million question.
That's exactly what I thought in my head.
This is a tough one. It's a tough one. God of War, stuck. It's locked. Ratchet, nice third person, no, more like family friendly, kind of fun type vibes right there. God of War, heavy, serious, masterpiece game though. Halo Infinite gives me like my first person shooter type fix, and also it's a really great Halo game. Multiplayer leaves a bit to be desired, but even still, like great game right there, and that is like my multiplayer game right there for sure. Now I have to make the cases for the top two. So like Last of Us, absolute masterpiece of a story right there. Absolute masterpiece. Red Dead Redemption 2, just amazing, impeccable open world right there. That was my 2018 game of the year runner-up between that and God of War. It was crazy. It was a really tough decision to make. Horizon Forbidden West, stunning, beautiful, gorgeous. Just a stellar game right there. Fall Guys is an absolute blast to play. Fall Guys is an absolute joy to play. I am torn. Because if I'm good, but then there's also Forza Horizon 5 for a driving game. And sometimes it's just nice to drive around. Sometimes that's all I want to do. I don't want it to do anything crazy. But at the same time, if I just want to ride around and have a fun time, I could play Red Dead.
Yep.
You see my predicament here?
Yeah. I'm with you.
All right. I think what I will do is I will eliminate Last of Us and Horizon from conversation. All right.
Forbidden West or Horizon 5?
Forbidden West. Okay. For Horizon Forbidden West and Last of Us, I'll remove them from the conversation. It's gonna be between Red Dead, Forza, and Fall Guys here to make this final decision for me.
If you go with Fall Guys, you can then buy more
games. I pick Fall Guys, then it has to be either Forza or then bring Horizon back into the conversation. But I'm trying to decide, do I want to spend all 5 at once? It really comes down to, do I want Red Dead? Do I want Red Dead or not? If I don't want Red Dead, then then it becomes real easy. But do I want Red Dead? That is what makes this really difficult for me here. This is very tough to decide. I think. Ooh, this is a tough one. All right. I'm going to tell you what I'm buying. I'm going to tell you my receipt right now, okay? Better read my receipt to you. I'm going to the counter, giving the cashier my games. I'm making I'm inserting the card. I've made the transaction. I got my receipt back. I got my games. My receipt reads like this. I have purchased Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I have purchased Halo Infinite. I have purchased God of War 2018. And I have also purchased Red Dead Redemption 2.
What I thought you were going to go with.
I think at the end of the day, as much as I think it'd be great to have the variety with Forza and Fall Guys, Red Dead's just such a great game. Red Dead's such a masterpiece of a game. It's so good. It's a Rockstar open world, like at its finest. And like, if I wanted to just like explore an open world and mess around, I can do that in Red Dead. I can have more fun with it in Red Dead, most likely, than I would with Forza. Forza's a fun game. Don't get me wrong, but I think I would enjoy exploring Red Dead's open world more so than Forza's, which is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
Fall Guys is really fun, but again, something's got to give. Like I enjoy Fall Guys. I really do. I haven't played it in a long time. But again, I think this is what it comes down to. Ratchet, Halo, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's my $15. No refunds. I'm all good, fam. I'm all good.
Nice.
Some stellar games here for $15.
It's a good list. That was a fun game.
I was about to say, and that was fun. I enjoyed doing that. I was trying to think of other games, like in my head, like, what else could we do? Because I wanted to do a game this episode of some sort. And I saw this and I was like, we need to bookmark that. We might come back to that at some point. We might come back to that this week. It was fun. I would like to do more games like this on the show in some capacity.
Pretty fun. Okay. Well, no, cancel what I was going to say. I was going to say we could do a gaming like trivia quiz, and then it would just show how
I
real
thought
dumb I
about
am.
that. I thought about that. Trust me, that is an idea I had. We will do that
Oh
at some point in
no.
time. We will do that at some point in time.
Oh no. I'm busy that week.
No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. So now that we've had our fun with our game, we're going to do some brief mentions to wrap up our news here. Then we'll get into what we've been playing. I don't think we have too much to say about what we've been playing. So we should be wrapping this episode up fairly soon. Fairly soon. Stick with us here. I hope we've been having a great time, though. It's been a fun show. I think it's been a fun show. Keiran, what do you think? Would you say it's been a fun show?
I agree. It's a fun show so far.
I think it's been a great one. Let's do these brief mentions real quick. Digital Extremes, the developers behind Warframe, have announced Soulframe, which is kind of like a sister game of sorts to Warframe. Warframe's director, Steve Sinclair, he is stepping down from his position on Warframe so that he can lead Soulframe. Soulframe, I did not see the trailer. I meant to watch it. Just got caught up with other stuff this week. But they have said that it is a focus more so on melee combat. It's a slower, more heavy game as well when it comes to the combat. It has themes of nature and restoration and adventure in it. Exploration is also like a strong focus for this game. And they also cite like Princess Mononoke as like an influence for the theme and the tone of what they're going for with Soulframe. So seems cool, seems interesting. I do have to watch the trailer. I know my brother was excited by this because he's really big on Warframe. So when Soulframe got like trademarked some time ago, he was like, "Oh man, what is it?" He thought it was gonna be a sequel, and it got announced. I told him it's not a sequel or a prequel; it's its own different thing. And he said, "But what if it is a prequel?" I said, "Javi, it's not. It's a different thing entirely." He said, "But what if? I can hope." And I said, "Why would you do that? Don't. I'm telling you the facts. Don't hope for something that's not the case. I'm telling you the facts." And he said, "I'm just gonna hope." I'm just like, whatever, do you? But seems like it could be cool though. Seems like it could be cool. Hopefully, Warframe people are into it. PlayStation has acquired the esports platform Repeat.gg. I'm reading. I got this from Adam Bankhurst over at IGN. I'm just gonna read like a small portion of the article here because he actually explains what Repeat.gg is. Did you ever hear it before?
I can't say I have, no.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. This is why I'm reading what Adam Bankhurst here wrote.
Yep.
Repeat.gg is one of the biggest esports tournament platforms in the world, and it helps users compete for cash prizes across online games. Furthermore, it organizes asynchronous esports tournaments that allow players to compete in games even if they aren't online at the same time. Just PlayStation furthering their step and reach in the esports scene. Again, they acquired Evo, they're acquiring this. It just makes sense that they're doing this. It makes the most sense to acquire this if you're trying to get into esports more and more.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Old Republic's creative director Charles Boyd is leaving BioWare after close to 16 years. Again, why are you laughing? What's so funny?
No, so I read that as Charles Boyle for some reason.
That's funny. That's funny. Again, I'm reading this bit from Adam Bankhurst, also at IGN, because he has like a nice summary of who Charles Boyd was. So according to Wikipedia, Boyd joined BioWare in 2006 and was part of a team of writers who helped build the foundation of the Star Wars MMO. His team was led by Daniel Erickson, and Boyd helped create the story for the Trooper class, among other things. After Erickson left in 2012, Boyd became a lead writer alongside Hall Hood, and they worked together on the rise of the Hutt cartel story. He would continue to work on many other expansions and would eventually become creative director in 2016. Nice long tenure there at BioWare, Charles Boyd.
Yeah.
Good for you. Looking forward to whatever else you do next, fam.
Yep.
Now, in really bizarre news, Multiversus revealed a couple new characters. They revealed Rick and Morty as new characters. Okay. And also LeBron James, specifically the Space Jam version of LeBron James is in the game.
LeBron James.
And he fights with his basketball and goes dunking on people, tossing it at people. It's funny to see. It's funny to see. LeBron is coming to the game on July 26th. Morty comes on August 8th, and Rick will be coming at a later unannounced date at some point in time. So cool stuff there. Cool stuff there. Take-Two, they have announced their support for employees affected by the Roe v. Wade decision here in the U.S. Activision Blizzard employees, on the other hand, they are holding a walkout. Well, they held a walkout early this week due to the company not doing enough to support those affected by the Roe v. Wade decision. So good on Take-Two. Activision Blizzard, you need to do better. Also, In other Activision Blizzard employee news, the QA staff at Blizzard Albany, which was formerly of Vicarious Visions, they are unionizing. They're now called, the union is called the Game Workers Alliance Albany, and they seek a number of things, including competitive and fair compensation, pay transparency, better benefits, and improved healthcare, improved work-life balance for workers, and more. Good for them. Congratulations to you guys. Good on you forming that union. Hope to see it all through. Hope things get better for you all over there. Activision Blizzard, man, y'all need to step it up. Do better by your people. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Seems like it's a long road before that's ever going to happen. No Man's Sky announced its 20th major free update this week called Endurance. This update focuses on overhauling freighters, frigates, and fleets. I'm sure No Man's Sky fans are very happy with that. Nintendo has announced that purchases will no longer be able to be made on the Wii U and 3DS eShops starting March 27th, 2023. Also, free content will no longer be available to download as well on that day. This includes game demos. So if you want to get any of that stuff, get it before March 27th, 2023. TMNT, the Cowabunga collection, releases on August 30th for all platforms. I'm not into it, but I know many people are. So that's why I do this right here into the brief mentions. We got a couple industry veterans making moves over here with new studios. Bruce Straley, director on Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us, has opened a new game studio called Wildflower Interactive. The team wants to make, quote, smallish, creatively charged, uniquely stylized games that explore the possibilities of our medium, end quote. Now, Jerry Hook, who is one of the people behind the original Xbox, has started up a new AAA studio called Jar of Sparks, and they plan to, quote, create a new generation of narrative-driven action games with immersive worlds, end quote. And I got that last quote right there from Kat Bailey's IGN piece where they were talking with Jerry Hook about the new studio that he's starting up. And last, John Romero, co-creator of Doom, he's making a new original FPS with a major publisher in Unreal Engine 5. Big moves being made by some big people across the industry. Love to see it. Wrapping this up here with our brief mention, Saints Row has gone gold. Now, it's ready to be printed out onto discs. Day one patches will be, made and everything, and we'll be playing the game August 25th, right? That's when it comes out. The 25th or the 23rd?
22nd.
22nd.
Give me a hang on.
It comes out that last week. I know that because it comes out like a couple days before my girlfriend's birthday. That's how I have that in my head.
Nope, sorry, 23rd. Yeah, so a month today.
All right, there we go. A month from the day of recording. Oh man, I didn't realize on that same day, Bungie has announced a Destiny 2 showcase will be taking place. They dropped a little teaser for this on their Twitter page, and basically the teaser has the Witness talking. The Witness, I don't know if that dialogue is new dialogue or if it's dialogue from like previous stuff in the game, but basically the Witness, he's talking. We're seeing glimpses of things that have been like teased to come. We see like a glimpse of the cutscene from the end of Shadowkeep when you kind of interact with a vessel for the Witness in a sense. You see a glimpse of I believe the raid boss for Witch Queen's raid in there as well. And you see the Witness there at the end in his amazing glory. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like you teased it before last week. We didn't say anything about it, but like I love his character design. Just on what we saw in that end cutscene for Witch Queen. Oh my god.
Yeah,
so cool.
Like character design for the Witness is on point. It's really cool.
Super cool. So
yeah, I was just gonna say I also like the little like tagline they use where it's like witness the future.
I know. Oh, so good. Like ordinarily, but if I had not like caught up on Destiny, that would have got me that excited. But because since I'm caught up on Destiny, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, give me this now. So we can expect to hear about Lightfall, the next expansion. They didn't say this, but I mean, we can expect to hear about Lightfall at this next show, at this showcase. Whatever else we'll hear about, who knows? Most likely we'll probably hear about what season 18 is going to be. Season 18 will probably be dropping on that day or around that time frame, uh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Tease me what Lightfall is gonna be, Bungie. Show me
Yeah.
what Lightfall is. I'm ready.
I am going to predict that not season 18, but season 19 is going to be called Season of the Witnessed.
Oh, the Witnessed.
Yep.
Why do you think that's what it'll be called? Just for the fun of it.
Just for the fun of it, like it makes sense with like the witness coming. I don't know. Fun prediction. It's probably gonna be wrong.
Okay, I'm down with it. I'm down with the prediction. I like hearing fun predictions like that. I don't know what it'll be called because I don't know where the
Yeah,
story's
no
gonna be
idea.
going. I haven't finished Season of the Haunted yet. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm very excited. August 23rd.
Yep.
But Destiny 2 showcase. I may or may not be playing Saints Row that day. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I will be watching that Destiny 2 showcase. That is for sure. That's wrapping up our brief mentions. So we're gonna get into what we've been playing. Each of us has only played one thing.
Yeah.
Do you? I can say mine really quickly because I have not really played much this week. If you
Yeah.
if you want me to.
Neither of I. Like I don't have a lot to say.
Okay, so you know what? I want you to go first. That way I can stop
Okay.
talking. I could drink a bit of water, and you could tell me about this game you have here. Tell us about Satisfactory.
It's essentially a factory building game where you build a factory on an alien planet for some form of company. I didn't pay attention to the name. It's like it's pretty much a farming game, kind of, except like maybe not a farming game, but you're going around like mining ore, mining wood, making parts, building like constructors and smelters and miners and I've only played because I was going to record gameplay for it because I thought I was going to play more this week than I have. But I've only played like half an hour or so. So like I'm really not far in. I have not even finished like I think like the third hub upgrade, which is like your main base of operations where you have like your power generator, your crafting bench, your storage container.
Mhm. Are you playing on PC or is this on console?
I think it's only on PC as of right now.
Okay, that's cool.
I will double check that because I don't want to be giving you all false information.
Okay.
Satisfactory is currently only on PC.
Got it. Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. It's a game I've had my eye on for a while. And then I saw it was in the Steam sale earlier, or like it was on sale on Steam earlier this week. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I want to play this game. So, it is fun. Like I'm having a good time. I'm not loving some of the crafting in it because like just like from my it's not like a fundamental thing wrong with the game. It's just a thing that I don't like is so say you have to build, I don't know, 100 reinforced steel plates or iron plates, I forget which. You to make those, you have to have like 4 screws and 6 iron plates makes one reinforced iron plate.
Okay.
But screws you have to make, or you have to have iron rods which are converted into screws, iron ingots are converted into iron rods. So like it's a whole process of like you have to like go through and craft each one. And there's no like enter the amount you want to craft or like craft all button. I've like literally like I said, I've played this game for half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. If I played it for 45 minutes, half an hour of that has been sat looking at my screen, holding the space bar on the crafting button to craft all the parts I need.
That reminds me of Animal Crossing, where it's like I have multiples of the thing. Can I make
Yeah.
multiples of the thing? I gotta do it one at a time and watch the animation go by each time and go to the dialogue, then open the menu. Yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah, so essentially, my original plan was to play this with a controller because that's what I'd seen other people play with. But I mean, keyboard and mouse isn't that horrible. So what I've been doing is, if I've had a lot of stuff to craft, I have been putting my the Xbox controller that I have for my PC. I've been putting that on my space bar so I can craft stuff while I'm away and going and getting a drink or something.
That is hilarious.
or I will
Genius
sit,
ingenuity.
work smarter, not harder. Or I will like sit with one hand on my space bar and I'll just be like sit here scrolling through TikTok or Facebook or something. But I have like seen people play this game before, so I know like what upgrades and like they're called like once you've done all the hub upgrades, you have what's called like milestones where you'll like unlock the ability to craft new things and find new resources and stuff like that. So I know that one of the things I need to make, I think it's called smart plating, and I need 500 of them.
Okay.
That's going to take quite a bit of time because further down the line, you get what's called an assembler, which essentially has two conveyor belt inputs, and it will take, say, screws and reinforced iron plates and make them into whatever recipe that makes.
Right.
I have looked at like plans on how to like set up my factory like to make it look pretty as well as functional, because so far it's just functional.
Yeah.
And I have seen what you need to do for to make smart plating. You essentially need to have four construct. Okay, hang on. I'll explain this a bit better. So you need to have at least one miner mining iron ore, right? But where my base is, I have 3 iron ore things that I'm not currently using. So I'm going to have 3 miners mining iron ore to give me a hell of a lot of iron ore output per minute. Then that needs to go into a smelter, which will smelt it into iron ingots. Then it needs to go into a splitter and go into 3 separate constructors, one making iron plates, one making iron rods, and 2 making iron rods. I then need to have another constructor for one of the other constructors that's making iron rods, because iron rods goes into screws. So that constructor will make screws. Those then need to connect to 2 assemblers, which will make 2 I think it's rotors and reinforced iron plates or steel plates, I can't remember which. And then those 2 assemblers will go into another assembler which will make smart plating. I make 2 smart plating per minute, and I need 500.
2 per minute. You need 500. So that means you need to multiply that. Hold on. 2 times 25 is 50. So that'll take 250 minutes.
Yep.
So that comes out to 60, 120, 180, 240, 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Yep.
That is a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time where I can't really do anything other than like explore to go and like find other stuff. But like the world that I'm on has 4 worlds. It has basically like, and the worlds are kind of like difficulty. So the one I'm on is the easiest, then it has like medium, hard, extra hard, whatever. Right. The world I'm on isn't that interesting. It doesn't have a whole lot of stuff on it. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's fun to just like you can get a tractor, so you can build a tractor. So it's fun to like drive around. Oh,
driving a tractor, Mom. I'm driving a tractor.
Okay, so this is, I think this is kind of the last thing I'll say about it, because I don't really have much more to say. But you can automate most things in this game. So you can have like a miner going into a smelter, going into a constructor, going into like a storage container. So you always have like metal plates or iron rods or screws or what have you. The one thing that you can't automate is biomass production, because you can't like there's no like what's the word? There's no like machine that you can put onto like a group of trees or leaves or whatever. You have to either get far enough in the game to build a chainsaw so you can start harvesting wood, or you need to go around and pick up leaves individually. Well, like, okay, not like you're not picking up individual leaves. You're picking up like, there will be a like bush, which will count as like 4 or I think they count as like 30 leaves, something like that. And you need to pick up like the bushes individually.
Okay.
Which you can then put into like, constructors and stuff to create biomass to power biomass burners, which is like the starter way of producing power to power all your machines. That takes so long, and like it's really annoying that I can't automate it.
It seems like this it seems like it gives me like very much mobile game type of vibes in terms of, yeah, you need to do a lot of stuff at the same time, and we're just going to eat up your time.
Yeah,
Like like how in mobile games will be like, yeah, do this, then come back like 5 hours later.
yeah. So
to pick up your like 3 things you made or whatnot. Like it
yeah,
reminds me of that. Not to say that it is, not to say that it is like a mobile game, but it definitely reminds me of those type of things and all. It if you're into crafting, then you're into crafting games and everything like that. And I just can't help but think about like, I'm just imagining just driving your tractor down the street, like, hey Bob, hey Keiran, how's it going? Oh, it's going well. Just take the tractor out for a drive. Oh, you got stuff going on back at the factory? Yeah, got it, got some stuff in the works. It's gonna take about a little over 4 hours. So I just figured I'd take a nice Sunday drive on the tractor here, just visit the town, see everybody,
pretty much.
Put some miles on this bad boy.
Like I'm usually not into crafting. Like this is usually not my kind of game. But like I saw Markiplier play ages ago, and like it's like I said, it's been on my wish list on Steam for a while because like it looked fun. It looked like it would be a fun time, like a game I can just like shut my brain off and just go and mine some more or go and build this machine or
keep your brain on it from the sounds of it. No, making this happen.
Only when you are like designing the extremely intricate thing that you need to like it. I'm not even gonna get started on that again because like I have seen some of the things that people have built in this game, and I'm like, why would you put that much time into it, dude? Like seriously. But like,
would you say you've been having a satisfactory time with Satisfactory?
I actually think I would. I think I would say I've been having a satisfactory time with the game Satisfactory, if not like a little bit tedious. A little bit of a tedious time having to sit here and hold spacebar and be like, oh, so that's what my auntie's doing. Or, oh, that was a fun TikTok. Or, let me just watch the like 10 minutes of this episode of Piggy Blinders while I sit here and hold spacebar.
Sounds like a satisfactory time. It's not blowing your mind. It's not terrible. It's
no,
fine.
like
satisfactory.
Yeah, it's satisfactory. Sure.
It is exactly what it is titled. You are what you play.
Satisfactory. Yep, 100%.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you've been having a satisfactory time with Satisfactory.
One last thing. I will have gameplay for it next week because I will be playing more this week.
You realize you said that about a couple games for the past few weeks, and the following week there was nothing for him.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like I'll say it, and like, then like
Overwatch. It was Overwatch, and then the death one. I forgot what that was called.
Oh, okay. Overwatch is not my fault because I can't record gameplay for that.
Oh wait, you're on Xbox, right? Sorry, I forgot you're not on PC with that.
No.
Right. It was the other one, the death one.
Have a nice death.
Yes, Have a Nice Death. I could have sworn there was some other one too, but Have a Nice Death.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, what else did I say I would have gameplay for? I can't remember.
I feel like there was one other.
Minecraft RTX, that's what it is.
Yes, that's what it was. I knew I'm not
crazy. Also, to be fair, I haven't touched those games since I said I was going to have gameplay for them.
Yeah, I'll have gameplay for them. When if I play them again? That's how I get out of it.
My brain is like a sieve, okay? Like, I've just gone off of doing like 10 months of uni. I'm in the middle of doing a bunch of like renovation stuff and having to do a bunch of manual labor. It'll happen at some point when I remember.
When do you remember? If you remember, if you get back to them,
if I remember to remember.
Exactly. So yeah, this week I did not play Stray. I know I said I was going to last week. This week I did not. I told Keiran why before we started recording. Yeah. But basically, it comes down to two things. One, as I said, kind of mentioned at the top of this episode, New York City's in the middle of a heat wave. It's incredibly hot. So I have not wanted to play anything for a fair portion of this week. I just wanted to sit and lay down in front of a fan and try to stay as cool as possible. So that's part of it. The other more actual real reason, though, is the fact that I found out that Stray is like just under 5 hours long. And I'm like, cool. I can do that in one sitting, like an extended sitting. I didn't want to break it up between 2-3 different days. So I was like, I'll just play it over the weekend after we record the podcast. I'll just go through it like all day Saturday as soon as we finish, or like just all day Sunday, one of the two. Ideally, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to play it as soon as we finish recording today. So that's why I did not play Stray this week, but I will have some stuff for it next week. So have no fear. It will be there. I did play Destiny 2 this week, though. I did some more of the Witch Queen. I think I said I finished the Season of the Risen before on last week's episode. If not, I finished. Yeah. If not, I finished Season of the Risen. I enjoyed how that wrapped up. I'm doing Season of the Haunted now. In terms of where I am in the story for Season of the Haunted, I did the first Shame Sever mission with Chrome, and I'm liking kind of what they're doing with the story with all that. I definitely enjoy the Nightmare Containment missions.
Yep,
the
I
Nightmare
love
Containment
those.
Public event. It is fun.
Mhm.
It is so much fun. Like, is it repetitive? Yes, it most
100%.
certainly is. But it is so much fun. Just taking out waves of Cabal and Scorn with other people at the same. It's just so much fun. I enjoy that so much more than I actually thought I was going to. And like my first time doing it, I was like, what the heck is even happening? I was like, didn't even know what to do. But then I caught on. I was like, got it. I see what I need to do. And it's just a blast. It is an absolute blast to do. So I'm enjoying that. I think like rank somewhere either rank 4, between rank 4 and rank 6 with the Crown of Sorrow. My light level is 1532 with the seasonal artifact, which is at like +9 now. I'm enjoying Destiny 2 Season of the Haunted so far. It's been fun. It's been cool. Season of the Risen was cool. So depending on what the next week looks like for me, I may or may not be done with Season of the Haunted. I plan to try and make some more progress with it, but I'll see how much more progress I make with it over the next week.
Have you done any of? There's an event going on just now.
Solstice event. I have not done the Solstice event yet. I want to go into it, but I just haven't gone into it.
Yeah, I think I didn't put it on this list because I did like one of the Solstice things. It's not enough to like have any opinion on it. Like, because honestly, like my brain was half switched off when I was doing it anyway. So like I've done one of them. It's okay. In my opinion, it's not as fun as something like Nightmare Containment.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta look more into it. I probably would have asked my brother about it had I thought about it, because I don't think this is the first time they've done the Solstice event. They've done it in the past. I just didn't think to ask my brother about it because he would definitely have an answer like, oh yeah, this is what it's all about and everything. Like, he is hardcore Destiny and all like that. He's super into it.
I was just gonna say, if you go and speak to Eva in the tower, you'll get armor that boosts your light level. Because that's what I did. I logged in and I was like, oh hey, I have this person to speak to. And when I spoke to her, and she was like, here's this full armor set that's gonna boost you up from like 1536 to 1540.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Maybe I'll go ahead and talk with her. She's the one who's running the Solstice event, right?
Yep.
Eva Levante. Cool. Yeah, I haven't talked to her at all. So I'll probably go chat with her next time I play. If I don't, just dive right back into more Season of the Haunted stuff and just continue the next Sever mission. And am I able to do the next Sever mission? I forgot. I don't remember.
Yeah, like that's something I didn't like about Season of the Haunted. Was it was essentially like, do a Nightmare Containment, do the mission, do a Nightmare Containment, do the mission, do a Nightmare Containment.
Yeah, that's how Season of the Risen was too. It's like, do the Silence Battleground. Now come back. Battleground, come back. Battleground, come back.
Yeah, and I'm like you couldn't give me like I know like you obviously want me to do this thing that you spent time working on, and that's why the focus for the season. But like, you know, vary up slightly so it's not just like do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like I still have a blast doing it for sure.
100%.
And like there have been times where I've done it. Like I think the first 2 or 3 times I did it, I didn't realize that you had to go up to the thing after finishing to hold square to bind the thing in order to get the completion for that. I didn't realize until like my third time. I was like, oh, got it. Let's do it again. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's
Yeah.
get it. It's a blast. It's an absolute blast to go through.
Yeah. I really enjoy the scythe.
The scythe is nice. The scythe is cool. It is fun. The
Yeah.
scythe is a scythe.
I don't know if that's where I got my scythe finisher from, actually. Because I have a scythe
Oh
finisher.
no, the scythe finisher, that's in the past. It's in the season pass.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the first few things you can get in season passes from right.
Oh. Yeah, well that is the only finisher I have. I think I have like 4 in my inventory, but that's the only one I have equipped because it's my favorite one.
That's the only one I have because they did not have finishers the last time I played Destiny before I got back into the game. So that's the only one I have. I haven't bought any others. Fine with it as is. Well, Keiran, I think this was a fun episode. Even for an episode where there really wasn't too much big news, I think we still had a great time.
Yeah. Fun times over here in the Playtwin podcast.
Yeah, we try to keep it fun, try to have a good time over here each and every single week. So thank you all for watching and or listening to episode 60 of the Play to Win podcast. Check out our site, playtowingames.wordpress.com. Nice home for all of our content. Read our written reviews that are over there if you don't want to watch them, or you can read and watch at the same time on the same page. You can do that. It's cool. It's crazy. Awesome how these things work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game. I was about to say Play to Win Games at WordPress.com. Play to Win Game is our Twitter and Instagram. Follow us over there. Chat with us over there. That's where you'll get updates on the show and all of that type of stuff. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you are on YouTube, and hit the notification bell while you are there. On podcast services, make sure you subscribe as well. Leave us a nice 5-star review, letting everyone know that you enjoy the show. Leave us a like and comment on YouTube as well. And also just share the show with everyone. We greatly appreciate it. It helps out with algorithms, helps us out be seen more, helps us grow. So please do all those things. It does not go unnoticed. It is all greatly, greatly appreciated. Keiran, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word. I post some stuff. Something that I was going to post later on today. I'll give you all a sneak peek of. I was telling Tyler about this, but I can't remember if we talked about it on the start of this episode. But I'm moving at some point in the next, let's say, 8 months when the extension's done, and I have picked the colors for my new bedroom.
Colors, what are they going to be?
I can show you. So essentially, you are going to have this kind of like dark gray on 3 walls, and then this purpley color as like an accent wall.
Oh, nice. That gray looks kind of like a dark greenish, but it could just be in the lighting. For me, it could just be like it looks to me.
Well, maybe it might have like an ever so slight greenish tint to it.
Yeah, like a dark olive type of
kind of
to it. Still awesome. It looks nice. Looking forward to seeing how the actual room looks with it on the walls and everything.
I have some plans.
Oh, you got plans?
Oh, I got plans.
He got plans, people. He got plans over here. Okay. We'll see how these plans shake out then. We'll see how they shake out come 7, 8 months, 9 months, who knows from now.
Whenever we get stuff approved.
Whenever the approvals go through, that's when we'll see. Just approved. Here you go. Now you can show the people. Well, awesome. Follow Keiran for all that stuff and more. You can follow me over on Twitter at TylerMiller2496, where I talk about games and movies and other things I'm playing and or watching. All that being said, though, thank you all so very much for watching and or listening. And we'll talk with you all next time. Have a great one.
See you later.